Welcome to another Behind the GAVL podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Raplee, co-founder, CEO of GAVL. We're a digital marketing agency that caters to the legal industry. And in this podcast, we're going to just give you a little bit of behind the scenes of, what we do as an agency. We'll highlight some of our work. We'll talk about some of our processes. And really, it's going to change from episode to episode on what we're going to discuss. Today, I have one of our video editors, Oscar Hernandez, and I'm going to talk to Catherine, who you met in the last episode. So why don't we just jump right in, and thanks for being here. Oscar, good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to the podcast as both producer and guest.
Multitasking. Let's do it.
How's your day going?
So far, so good. Doing very good. Can't complain.
It was a good week. Very busy. We got a lot of irons in the fire, if you will. But right now, we're going to set a little time aside, and we're going to talk about videos and why they're important for law firms. We'll talk about kind of the process. So we're just going to jump in and just talk about everything video.
Yeah, let's do it. Even before we begin, I wanted to ask you a question, which is, I know GAVL dabbles in a couple of different things, SEO, websites, and all that, and we also do video, obviously. So how did GAVL get into start offering video as a service?
That's a great question. Now, as a SEO first company, when we first started in websites, it was a lot different than it is today. The internet, just how people consume media, how people make decisions, a lot has changed. The rise of YouTube, the rise of Meta, really making it where video has become kind of front and center. Just got me thinking and how a lawyer can connect with a potential client the best way. So as the internet's shifting, the internet's evolving a little bit, video is becoming more and more important. There was some competitors of ours that were just doing video. They weren't necessarily doing anything, the web and SEO. And I saw them, I'm like, man, some of these are incredibly powerful. We should be doing this. And when we jumped in, the question we got a lot was, is this good for my SEO? Is this good for my SEO? And I said, look, it has some benefits, yes. And video pops up in search now more than ever. But that's not the true reason why we got into video. The reason really why is to tell stories, I think of them as conversion tools. It's like the ultimate conversion tool that you can have on a website. And then they could be repurposed on social and in all these different areas, but really it's for your website. You're driving traffic, you're spending resources on SEO, maybe paid ads, you're driving traffic to the website. How can you convert that person into picking up the phone, contacting the firm? Video is just so powerful. And the videos that we do, in my opinion, are some of the best in the industry. I mean, the videos that you do, as a team, they really are about emotion, connection, telling the firm or the attorney's story to a potential person before they even meet them. And then that's going to be able to resonate. And that can be your differentiator between a person picking, one firm or another. Kind of a
100%.
long-winded answer there, but
no, you hit every single point right there.
With that said, what do you think the difference is between a lawyer video that feels authentic versus one that is salesy?
That's a great question, especially in today's climate, right? I would say that the biggest difference I see, especially editing terms, is that authentic videos, they feel more like they're trying to help you understand, and salesy videos feel like they're trying to convince you, right? So if the first 15 seconds is, we're the best and call now, sounds very scripted, viewers bounce because they don't feel that safe, that safety feeling as of yet. And when it's authentic, the attorney or whoever speaks like a real person. in plain language, lead with clarity, what to do, what to expect, what matters. And, as an editor, I keep the helpful parts up front, cut the buzzwords, build trust with small choices, natural pacing, actual B-roll, nothing, stock footage. And why that's one of the things that I really love about GAVL, clean audio and having the production tools to make everything feel professional. And also, down to the questions that we ask the person that we're interviewing, the clients, get out or trying to get them to answer in a way that they would do it in a conversational format. That way it translates to whoever's watching it, to potential clients for that law firm, and they could feel kind of a sense of trust and a softer call to
Yeah.
action that comes after the value. If it sounds like website copy, I cut it,
Yep.
on the editing room. Claims that are like, replace claims with proof, like, process, expectations, and how they communicate. Again, a big thing is like, using the real environments, real B-roll, and that beats stock footage 10 times out of 10.
Yep.
And something that's very overlooked, and that's why we work with a great team. The guys are recording. Audio quality is a huge trust signal. Bad audio reads as really low credibility. It just kind of like the viewer just throws you off. Think about when you're watching a YouTube video, everything could look fantastic on screen, but then once you hear like you could barely understand the person, it's just really bad audio. It just kind of just,
Yep.
you're just
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
turned
Yeah.
off by it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. It's kind of funny because one of the biggest questions we get asked when we're talking to a prospective client, especially from the video side, they're like, "Hey, do you help us with our scripting?" I say we don't script, and the reason is how we go. Part of our process is we go into a shoot depending on what we're doing. Are we doing a brand video? Are we doing bio videos, practice area videos, whatever they are? We go into that with having done some research on the firm and on the attorneys and their market and where they're at. But we come in with a whole slew of questions, open-ended questions that the attorneys have never seen. They don't see these in beforehand. And what we do in this interview is essentially pull out these golden nuggets, these snippets, and sometimes our questions are repetitive, but you get authentic responses every single time. And that's what it's all about. And that rings like people can see through the bull when something is overly scripted and, they're just fumbling everywhere. And when something is authentic from the heart, really able to create an emotional connection with somebody, it's just so much more powerful. And you just can't do that from a scripted video, especially some of these videos are 2.5 minutes long. You're really going to script a 2.5 minute video for someone who's not trained to be behind the camera. These attorneys, they're good at memorizing their opening and closing, and but when you put a camera in front of their face, it changes, and it changes quick. So that was actually, one of our first shoots ever. We learned this because we went into it with a lot of scripts, and halfway through the shoot, I was just like, this isn't going to work. We need to be interviewing you, and you need to give us authentic responses. And don't worry about saying the wrong thing or whatever it is. We're going to ask enough questions to where we're going to be able to create this story. Now there are circumstances where, hey, if we're doing a TV commercial, a 15-second or 30-second spot, yeah, we may want to script a little bit of that, but still a lot of times we can just make those out of the interview responses that we get. B-roll. And that's the other thing too. It's like, hey, do you guys just hire a local videographer and then they record stuff and send it back? And no, we send our team to every single shoot, every law firm that we work with around the country. And we use, speaking of audio quality, also video quality. I mean, we shoot on red cameras. We have exceptional audio. Everything that we do is the best. Now, is it overkill? Sometimes maybe for some of this stuff, but I always say, hey, look, if you're going to put something on your site that represents your brand and you really want to be seen as the best of the best, shouldn't everything you do and people see that's reflective of your brand to be the best? You know, little things like audio quality. I mean, you're 100% right. Like, we see law firms all the time posting, you know, these selfie videos that they've done that aren't well edited. And, this could be a firm that has, multiple million plus dollar settlements and verdicts annually. And then they throw out this garbage. Everything you do needs to be reflective of your brand. If you want to be seen as the best and of high quality, you need to make sure you're putting up the best and the most high quality.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, a lot of this is, video translates into it even touches on the realm of psychology, right? So it's
Yep.
like one thing about GAVL is that it really focuses on the details that obviously these law firms are completely different industry, right? So they trust us in doing that. And once we focus on the details, you start to see that translate onto the video, to your point, the quality down to the video quality down to the audio quality, and it could be, you could say that it's overkill, but it's really just showing that the potential of that brand onto the viewer, so they could get it in all their senses and be like, wow, this is somebody or some firm that I would really love to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and even, on top of that, it's like little things like lighting matter, angles, all these different nuances that, quite frankly, a lot of other people don't take into consideration when they're doing these videos. That's one thing that I think that separates us too. And, even my absolute refusal of using lapel mics, me, and I tell, our amazing cinematographer, Dario, this all the time. I'm like, I never want to see a lapel mic. Always use a boom. Like, there should be no, nothing here, nothing, like, we're not on news anchor. This is
Yeah.
primo cinematic. It's like if you're watching a movie and all of a sudden, Brad Pitt's wearing a lapel mic. It's like, hold on, what?
Throws you off right
Throws
away.
you off. Throws you off. Anyway, let's jump into a little bit about the process. So we talked about, okay, we come to the firm, we have, a introductory call, sometimes two, talk about the firm, we talk about the background, story, history, all these things that just kind of get prepared. We prepare our long list of questions that we're going to do in the interview process. We capture B-roll with the firm, potentially clients, the city. We're really immersed in their office and city for a lot of times 2 days. And we bring drones, so we try to get great drone footage of the city. So all that is done. We get back to the office. You get the footage. Tell me about that process and how that starts.
I would say my process starts with one question, which is, what does the viewer need to feel or understand to, take the next step, right? Most legal clients aren't, casually browsing. They're stressed, confused, scared, things like that. We kind of build the video around reducing that friction. So, with the questions, having the questions prepared is such an important part of it. We structure the story very simple. The problem in human terms, what usually goes wrong, what to do first, how the firm helps, without making any direct promises right there, right then and there, and then a soft invite, right? So in the edit, I'm ruthless about, clarity, tighten answers, move the strongest line to the top, use B-roll to really keep that attention, and make sure that people remember the key points. And, I edit for spoken language, not reading language. So the beauty about the questions that we ask is that it gives us just that. There's nothing scripted, kind of like we said. Make sure I hit the pattern interrupts every 8 seconds, adding some B-roll, angle change, which is, our production process is so important because we have things to cut from. We're not just making a pretty video, which, we always do, but we're designing the retention, right?
Yeah.
I'm always kind of, and I would say this is probably like my number one rule, which is I always kind of revert back and I watch the video that I edit, even though it's 2 minutes, like probably watch it, 100 times, because I really want to kind of put myself in the shoes of somebody that's watching this for the first time, and make sure that whatever comes up in my mind questions that are being answered, or if I want a specific thing, pain point to be answered, that I'm making sure that I'm using what we got from the law firm to convey just that.
Why is like music and stuff important in like how do you pick the right music to use for these videos? I mean, as you said, these folks are often scared. I mean, especially most of our clients are not your typical car wreck attorneys that are just on TV all the time, and they're not. I don't want to call them a mill. I don't want to make anyone upset with me,
Yeah.
but a lot of our clients really handle these in horrifically catastrophic cases. So these people are going through often the most terrifying time of their life. And we can't just throw up a video with rock music or something that's going to be really really disruptive to them.
Yeah.
So tell me about that process. How does that work?
Yeah. So again, what is the purpose of the video, right? So, for example, a brand video is showing exactly what the law firm is about, and they're not hitting super specific points, but they're kind of giving a generalization of exactly what the law firm does, right? So, obviously, some techno music in the background is not really gonna do anything to that. So, I really try to make sure that whatever I'm using as far as music goes is not diverting away from that, right? So it's not I'm not hyping anything up.
Yep.
If anything, I'm kind of accentuating what they're saying. So a lot of these, it could be depending on the practice, it's usually something like you were saying, something tragic or something unfortunate. But you also want it to feel uplifting, like there's hope, right?
Yeah.
So I try to mix a lot of that into those epic music. Nothing with the drums super harsh or super
Yeah.
fast. Something very slow, but not too slow because we don't want to make everybody go to sleep. So we just make sure that it kind of blends in with that in the background. So you're listening to it and you hear that there's music, but it's not overly, going over what the person is saying. So I like to go with that epic kind of flow. But again, it really depends on what type of video it is and what we're conveying.
A lot of client testimonial videos too, where they talk about the most unfortunate things that happen to them, and that's where you have to be really tricky on what kind of audio you're putting on top of that. But I will say everything, when we put everything together, the interview, the B-roll on top, the audio on top, the movement, just everything, our goal is to get them enthralled into that video. So 2 minutes goes by and they're like, I have to hire this person, and here's just how powerful some of these videos can be. We've had a client and feedback to where they were not the big city firm that most people who you would think would have hired to handle such a catastrophic case. But they went to our client's website, watched the video, was not intending on hiring. They were just doing research and stumbled on the site, watched the video, and said, I need to hire this person because this is exactly what I want. And this is exactly what my family needs representing us, not the person on TV yelling, getting out their hammer and smashing, I'm going to take down Goliath, all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Emotional connection. It's so powerful. I mean, we're humans, we're social beings. It's like, show humanity. Don't be an a-hole. Be real with people. Don't flaunt. Don't do things, just think about you're talking to your grandmother. Be real and honest.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
We want to translate that the lawyer is a human as well, right? So
Yes.
that's why the music is important because it gives we want to I want to convey that yes, something tragic is happening and that's why you're looking for these services, but there's hope. You want to see that
Yeah.
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And if you're able to see that through that video, then fantastic.
So if I'm a firm right now, say I'm, a solo, I don't have a super huge budget. Where should I start? Like, what videos are the most important? Where should I start?
If a firm hasn't done anything yet, I'd start with a few foundational pieces that cover the entire trust journey, right? So I would start first with a brand video. It could be 60 all 60 seconds to like 2 minutes, and that explains who you help, how you work, and what clients should expect. I would say second, bio or biographical videos for the attorneys. Because at the end of the day, people hire people, right? And that's where the trust gets built fast, kind of showcasing who they are, what they do, a little bit of background, gives that human element. Third, practice area videos and kind of show clear, client friendly explainers, kind of, explaining the core services so someone can kind of self identify and feel informed before they call your office for help. Testimonials, it gives you credibility to show that you've done these things before, how you've helped other people, and testimonials with actual people, actual clients
Yeah,
talking
don't get
to.
actors.
Yeah, don't do those hire. I mean, it might look good on camera, but again, how we were talking about before, it doesn't translate well. You can feel the salesy and, the acting of it, right? Because there is a human element. But if you can actually get the, actual clients that you've helped, and they can themselves explain in their words how they were helped by your services, I mean, that's just, translates fantastic to any potential clients. So, those give you a strong, foundation, and you could always kind of repurpose them. And the beautiful thing about working with us with GAVL is that we shoot a lot of content, so we always shoot with the intention to repurpose, for social, for YouTube, for anything like that. We always shoot more than what we actually need, not only for our safety, but also, for that purpose as well. So, I would say that those are probably the things that you can start off with if you haven't done anything as of yet.
Awesome. Well, thank you for jumping on, talking video with me. And I'm sure I will have you on again sometime. Actually, you will be on again in this podcast at the end. So I will see you soon. Catherine, welcome back to the show,
Thank you.
Behind the GAVL podcast. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday.
It's been a long week, a lot of calls, a lot of Zoom calls, very
Busy
very
one.
fun. We're in a lot of planning stages right now for 2026.
Yep.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What do we have coming up? What's next for GAVL? Conferences, whatever. What's on the horizon for us?
Yeah, so we have our video team, speaking of video, heading to New Orleans next weekend to shoot the AAJ Advanced Depositions College. We'll also be going to the AAJ Winter Convention in San Diego. That's next month in February. We do the video for AAJ, and then we also have a booth, and I'll be there. So if anyone wants to chat video sales or website, we will be available. And then we're also going to be attending the ATAA. That's the Academy of Trucking. What is it, Ryan? Tell me again.
Academy Trucking Accident Attorneys.
Attorneys. Yes, there's so many acronyms. We'll be there in March. So we have a bunch coming up, and then of course lots throughout the rest of the spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we're always looking for other opportunities, other places that folks think we should be
Yeah.
at. So if anyone is listening to this that is an attorney, maybe works for a conference, whatever it is, reach out to us. We're always looking for opportunities. I'm hoping I feel like there's new legal conferences popping up every year.
Yep.
And what we don't know, we don't know. Actually, we just got an email about one this week,
Yeah.
but it's booked during AAJ, which I thought that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Must be a different crowd.
Yeah. So, yeah, let us know. Let us, reach out. If you're going to convention or any of these conferences, Catherine's going to be there. A lot of time, some of the team will be there. We'd love to take you out to dinner, have a drink, whatever it might be, go to a show, do something.
Yeah, definitely.
We try to have a good time. I mean, what's the point of traveling to San Diego and, not have a fun time?
Yeah. I'd love to hang. Give me a call.
Awesome. I feel like we're growing really, really rapidly right now. We kind of hit this a lull for a little while, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year, this happens every year. The phone starts ringing off the hook. We're getting a lot of referrals. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, I think it's probably because it's when people are looking at their marketing budgets and they start to reevaluate, like, what are we doing here? Is this working? Is it not working? Should we talk to somebody new? That's kind of what I would guess. And then we get those calls when maybe people have a little bit more downtime. when they're not doing the million cases every week. So yeah, we talked to a lot of folks at the end of 2025, and we've signed a few new clients since then, which has been wonderful. We're really looking forward to working with some of these folks. And then even now in January, you know, it's the first week back in the office for me, and I've had sales calls all week and a lot of really good, you know, potential folks I really hope to work with. So it's an exciting time,
Yeah.
growing.
If I'm in, say I'm a law firm and I am currently under contract, right? So I say, whatever it is with another agency, and whatever, for whatever reason, it's not working out. And you want to switch to Gavel or another agency, whatever it is, how much of a lead time do should I give the new agency that may be taking over, or say I have a year left? Is it too early to start the conversation?
I don't think it's ever too early to start the conversation, because what I typically do is I'll have the conversation with someone. All right, I say, you have a year left with this person. Let's talk in 6 months. And we're not going to tell the agency you're leaving if you decide to sign with us. We're going to say, hey, we're going to start building your new site out, because we build everything from the ground up, as we've mentioned before, custom code, custom design. That will take us some time, not 6 months, but it's good for us to have that, you know, leeway, and just have the time and the space to do that. And then, you know, usually a month out, we say, all right, we're ready to go. Tell us when you're ready to pull the plug with the other company, and we'll get the site launched for the new client, and hopefully have that seamless transition between the agencies. You know, learned all that from you, Ryan. So if you have anything else to add on.
No, yeah, no, you hit everything kind of on the button there. It's good too to give, especially, we are a boutique agency.
Yeah.
We take great pride in delivering the best work for every client, whether it's a smaller client or a larger client. We deliver the same level of work and detail. Yeah, not the same amount of time and effort, because that's just how it goes. Some cities and geographies that require just a lot more
Yeah.
effort, but everyone's still taken care of. And we don't want to, say, take on 6 new clients today and tell them all it's going to be ready in a couple months. So the more lead time we can get, the better. Especially, we don't use AI to write content. We do everything by hand.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
just had a new client recently that had all of their content on their site written by AI, and we need to redo everything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. The more heads up we can have, absolutely the
Yeah.
better.
So Ryan, I've been with GAVL over a year now, and we're already, I feel like, growing. But where else do you see us growing, or how do you see GAVL moving forward this year? What are some new things or goals you're looking
Yeah,
at?
that is a great question. So in 2026, we turned 10. So it's been a decade now of me being in this industry. This is all I do is legal marketing, talking with lawyers every week, looking at websites. It's crazy that it's taken 10 years now to where I really feel like what is it, the doppelganger syndrome or something like that? What do they call that? Imposter, the imposter syndrome. I feel like that's finally gone.
Good.
And I finally feel like, I think we are legit the best in the business. And there's a few other agencies out there that if my grandmother called me today and said, hey, I need a marketing agency in legal, I'm not hiring you, who would you hire? I got a couple out there that I really do trust. But I think what we're delivering right now, and I think part of why we've seen such great growth, is our elevation of design, our elevation of code quality. We're not using AI. We're not using page builders. I think these firms are now younger, more tech savvy.
Yeah.
They see that as what can be a competitive advantage for them. And I think it's a competitive advantage for us. If you go and look at our new site that we've done, Luke on our team is an incredible designer, incredible developer, now
Yeah.
head of websites. He got a promotion this year. He has really elevated what I did for better part of a decade. When we started this, I designed every site, I coded every site. And now having him on the team, I think he's been here for 2 years now, a year and a half, 2 years, has completely changed and really elevated us to where I don't think there are better uh,
He's
quality
wonderful.
products. And I think the industry is seeing that,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
especially the groups that we run with,
Mhm.
like we're big into injury board. We have, I don't know, maybe 10 or so injury board clients now. And that just keeps on increasing and increasing every quarter because the people that are seeing our work are seeing they're seeing the next level of quality and they're seeing I think what we're capable of. So for me, like a big goal for 2026 is really more brand penetration for us, really becoming that household name in legal marketing.
Yeah.
Whether, folks work with us or not, they can always come to us and ask us questions. Like if you just want to spot check, like, hey, I love my agency. I think they're doing a great job, but hey, can you just check it out? Just
That's a
just to
great
give
point.
me peace of mind. Like reach out. We're friends. Like we want to be friends because
Yeah.
that attorney may then refer us to somebody else.
Yeah.
We burn zero bridges. We have a competitor in the space. I got to give a shout out and props to Crisp. Crisp is one of the pioneers in the legal video space.
Mhm.
And they have referred us several clients on the web SEO side, even though we compete with them on video.
I
You
know.
know,
It's lovely.
so we burn zero bridges. We work with everybody.
Mhm.
We want the best for everybody because most of the clients that we work with, and I said this, I think in the last podcast, but they are really the best of the best. And we want to make sure that people who are really catastrophically injured and need the real best of the best, we want to help them find and
Exactly.
connect.
It's all
That's
about
really important.
helping the people that really need it, and we're kind of on
Yep.
the back end of that, which is great.
Yep. So building the brand, growing, that's really the goal
Yeah,
for this year, and just getting out there, more places, more boots on the ground, having more Zoom calls, and just taking this to the next level.
definitely. So who is your doppelganger then, Ryan?
That's a good question.
Not your imposter.
My doppelganger imposter. No, I don't know. I don't know why I messed that up. Imposter syndrome. But yes, I finally feel like that is gone.
That's good. You probably never were an imposter, but I understand that feeling.
Well, I think every creative,
Yeah.
everyone that gets and builds something. I mean, it's being an entrepreneur. Oh, actually, I got an update coming in from the peanut gallery that says my, my doppelganger is Yukon Cornelius from the original Rudolph. Uh,
Oh my god, that's true.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you to the peanut gallery, Mariah and Luke.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love
Some reason I feel like that's going to be a social media clip, and I'm going to regret it.
it.
However,
However, anyway.
anywho, back to the podcast now. Where do you like? You get out there to all these conferences, right? You're traveling all the time. I mean, where do you kind of see the industry going right now?
Well, a lot of people are going into AI services. They need AI for everything. And so they do tend to ask me a lot. A lot of the attorneys will ask me what we're doing in terms of AI answer engine optimization, or they call it AEO. We call it AEO, they call it GEO, all kind of the same
Yeah,
thing.
all kind. Yep.
And the thing that I tell them is, we have Caitlin who was on the first podcast. She's amazing at what she does as well, and she has really taught me a lot about how much overlap there is with the SEO work and the
Yep.
AEO, but then what she has to do in addition to get the attorneys and the practice areas to pop up in that answer as well. So she's doing research and all kinds of learning about how we can make sure our clients are popping up in that AEO as well as the SEO.
I like to think of it really as elevated SEO.
Yeah,
I hate segmenting all these buzzwords out, and a lot of
right.
times people build all these new buzzwords as scare tactics to then get new clients. And, it's
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, it's SEO. I mean, it's answer if you're typing in a query that you're looking to get a response back from, to me, that is a search.
Yeah.
Right. That's just what it is. And,
Yeah.
but now it's different ways to optimize because we're
Yeah.
looking at different engines that are delivering these results. Something that I found to be incredible and what makes me super excited about where AI is going, and this has nothing to do with legal at all, but the Instacart CEO came out. You can buy your groceries on Instacart in ChatGPT.
Well, I
How
didn't.
insane is that?
That is
Yep.
insane.
I mean, and that's where we're headed. Like,
Yeah.
the future is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. One of our corporate partners that we trust a lot is Eve.
Mhm.
They've really kind of risen to be the cream of the crop right now, I think, in AI services for legal. And I think in the next podcast, we're going to have the CEO of Eve on, because there are some new
Mhm.
things that are just blowing my mind that I want to get some more information on. So AI is in being at the forefront of AI. I'm glad you brought that up, because that is also probably uh, a, a top priority for us
Yeah.
every week.
Well,
And
it's changing so fast too. It's like when you think you got it down one week, it's going to be different the next. So it's
yeah,
good that we have someone who's excited about it and interested in learning about it and how we can utilize it to our
yeah,
clients.
just absorbing as much knowledge
Exactly.
and information, because everyone is trying all different tests and doing all this stuff. So, I mean, people shouldn't be afraid to go and see what are your competitors talking about? What are they
Mhm.
learning? What are people like? The sharing of knowledge, very much, all tides rise, all ships type thing, and the more people know, yeah, you there's going to be a couple things you may want to be a little hush hush about, but still, it's like
Yeah.
learn, keep evolving, listen to what other people are saying, try things. That's the biggest thing. You can't, and that's SEO. You can't be afraid to try something.
Right.
Well, thank you for talking about this stuff. And in the notes, we'll have a link to our events calendar. I encourage anyone who's going to any of these to reach out to Catherine, especially even if it's like your first time going to one of these conferences or you've been to a couple. Catherine knows everybody, at a lot of these. Uh, you know, we'll help you network. We'll help you whether you're working with us or not. We'll help you, because we're really about building our community that
Yeah.
we like and trust. So
And I like meeting new friends. So come hang out.
absolutely. All right, thanks. And now we're gonna bring Oscar back into the conversation. Oscar, how excited are you to go to New Orleans?
Pretty excited, and even more excited because it's not like in the middle of the summertime, so I'm not drenched in sweat the whole time. So I'm very excited to try some beignets. Is that did I
Oh,
say it right?
some
Beignets.
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 Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not French.
beignets, a Cafe du Monde.
Cafe du Monde.
So that's one of the things I wanted to ask you. What's your favorite food city that you've been to?
Wow.
So I think New Orleans is up there.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I would, and this could be super biased, but I would have to say New York. It just has a
Everything.
little bit of everything, and it's like almost kind of like the best of everything. So if I had to just choose one city, I'd have to say New York, and I'm not just biased because I'm from there.
How about you, Catherine?
I mean, he's right, New York, but I also first thought of Las Vegas just because they also have a little bit of everything and it's always pretty high end
That's a good
stuff.
one.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love New York. Really good. Agreed. New Orleans, I like a lot. But you know what's really crazy? My favorite is probably Louisville, which is nuts because there's one restaurant that I absolutely love. This place called Jeff Ruby's. And Tad laughs at me that it's my favorite restaurant in the world. And it's, if you're watching the Kentucky Derby, that's where like all the celebrities go for dinner, and the jockeys, like, and a lot of the jockeys pants that has Jeff Ruby on the side, so big sponsor. But I freaking love it. And
Is
then
that a steak place though in the hotel, or is that somewhere else?
No, no, that was somewhere. That's somewhere else. Yeah. That's somewhere else. No, this is downtown Louisville.
Okay.
Awesome. Great. And they got some good restaurants popping. But this is an outlier. You're never gonna believe this. But when we were in Phoenix, Arizona for convention, what was that, 2 years ago? Might have been. I was also out there for a video shoot right beforehand. And I got to go to the best pizza place in the entire world, in my opinion, Pizzeria Bianco. This guy is known, he's won James Beard Awards, Restaurateur of the Year, and whatever. I mean, mind blowing. So that's like
Phoenix.
number 2, Phoenix, Arizona.
For
Never would have
pizza.
guessed it. Yep.
No, never.
If you could only eat one meal, and I think I know what your answer is going to be here, Oscar. You can only eat one meal for the rest of the year. What would it be?
So you guessed it. It's what I eat most of the time anyway. But yes, it would be 4 sunny side up eggs. First, you got to cook the bacon, and then from the bacon fat, you could cook the eggs on there.
Okay.
About 2 full avocados, and yeah, let's just leave it there because people are gonna think I'm weird if I keep adding on to it. But yeah, if that I could literally eat
I think
that.
that
Like,
ship has sailed, buddy.
yeah, I think I overshot it, but I could have that for every day for the rest of my life, and I'll be fantastic.
What do you season the avocados with? Just straight avocado?
Just
Salt?
avocado, because see, the beauty of it is that I don't even use salt, because once I make the bacon,
That's true.
that's why I make it first, and then just based off of like the bacon grease and all that, I cook the eggs on there, so now I don't have to add salt to the eggs,
There you go.
and I just mix everything together. See, I think that's the weird part. It's like, you would serve it separately, but what I'll do is I'll make it into like a nice like Chipotle style bowl, and I'll just
Okay.
chop everything up, and I'll just
Boom.
boom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Chipotle, if you're listening, you can be a sponsor of the show.
Oh yeah, there you go.
How about you, Catherine? What's your one meal for the rest of
Well,
the year?
I think like Oscar, like practically, I would eat my smoothie that I make every day because it's filled with nutrients.
What's in it?
Yeah, what's in the smoothie?
I do spinach, kale, banana, berries, peanut butter powder, greens powder, oat milk.
Delicious.
Ooh,
It's so
very
good.
nice.
But, like my favorite food that I could eat every day is probably like Ethiopian or Indian, but you don't want to eat that every day. That's going to hurt your stomach.
Yeah. Might be
Yeah.
worth it, though. It's
Might
only
be
1 year.
For you.
It's only for a year. It goes quick. For me, I would eat steak, mashed potatoes, and corn.
There you go.
I like how you added corn on there.
Oh yeah, you gotta mix the corn and the mashed potatoes together.
Regular corn or like sweet corn?
Just like frozen corn or
Just
corn on the
regular.
cob, or
Okay.
yeah, nothing crazy. Just salt, pepper, butter, corn, mashed potatoes, nice medium rare steak.
Mm,
Oh, heaven.
very nice. You know what? I tried to do that just to like throw it in there. The mashed potatoes, instead of using regular butter, I've used ghee. Have you tried that before?
Yeah,
No.
we use that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so ghee, I mean, you could say it's like the healthier version of it, but it really just does it. It actually changes the flavor of it, so
It's
makes them a
clear.
little bit creamier.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting. I love butter, so I'm
Little
gonna stick with
tidbit.
that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So one more question. What is something you want to do more of this year? Oscar?
Wow, that's a good question. So I would say it's very like subtle, but I've been thinking about this a lot, especially at the end of 2025. But I really want to do or be more intentional with everything that I do. So I think a lot of things I've been kind of passive about, but I think I just want to really put intention to every little thing I do, even like brushing my teeth. Like I'll just maybe try with my left hand. You know what I mean? Just like make
Yeah.
sure everything just has a bit more
purpose.
intention, a purpose. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'll just be able to put everything I got into the little things. But yeah,
Well, that kind of goes and ties into this podcast. So we're trying to create noise, but we want to be intentional with our noise.
Mhm.
There
That's
you
our
go.
motto: intentional noise.
it wasn't my intention to be intentional, but now the
Now here we
intention
are.
has become intentional. There you
Catherine?
Well, I just want to be more like Oscar.
go.
I think, I'm in the same way. I want to be more intent with hanging out with my kids more and
Mm.
trying to reduce the use of this.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
I want to be as present as possible because I actually, spoke with someone today who I didn't know a loved one of theirs had passed away. And just, you just look and the life goes by way too quick. And I want to make sure that I'm just intent. Love it. Intent with
Yeah,
time. Like, I think that should be our motto of 2026
love it.
is just be intentional.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
With that said, thank you both for being on episode number 2 of the Behind the GAVL podcast. Let's go. We're out.
Thanks, Ryan.
That was another episode of the Behind the GAVL podcast. I want to thank you for being here. I think it was a great show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment. Any conferences you guys are going to that you think we should attend, let us know. One thing we didn't really talk about too much is we got a lot of new swag. If anyone would like some swag, reach out. We'll send you some. Just come see us at a conference. We'll give you some. I get laughed at all the time on why do I love yo-yos so much. My absolute favorite swag item we have is yo-yos. They light up. They're so much fun. I do it all conference. People come over and talk to me. We also recently got some amazing Headley and Bennett aprons with our logo on them. We sent them out to some clients, some of our employees. I have a few left. If you want one, reach out and we'll make sure you get one. So thanks for making it this far into the show, and we'll see you next time. Oh, also next time, I'm going to be joined by our first Friends of GAVL guest, Eve. Eve AI, I think, has quickly become the cream of the crop when it ties to AI and how attorneys are using AI from intake straight through using it, for demand letters in the case and all that kind of stuff. So I am really interested from the marketing side to talk to them about the intake process and just where they're revolutionizing that part of a law firm. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.